Hey there. This next true crime story that we're going to talk about in our series, Murders in the Minivan, happened in 2003 in Clear Lake, Texas. And the main characters in this story begin with a girl named Rachel Cloritis and Tiffany Raoul, okay? And they are popular. They're in this clique in high school, and, you know, everyone wants to hang out with them. And then there's this girl, Christine Pawilla. Now, Rachel and Tiffany, it's not going to go how you think. Rachel and Tiffany see that Christine is struggling. She has alopecia. People are mean to her. She wears a wig to school. Kids are ripping it off. So they decide that they're going to befriend her, and they're going to take her under their wing, teach her how to do makeup, help her with her wigs, and they do that, and they become good friends. So fast forward, Christine meets this guy, Chris, who's older than her, and they start dating. Now, Chris is a bad boy. Nobody thinks that he is good for Christine. Okay, now, one day, Tiffany and Rachel are hanging out at a house with a kid named Marcus and Eldebert. And they're just at this house watching TV, doing whatever. But police say this is one of those houses where it's known that people do drugs or they sell drugs or so on and so forth. So the original timeline of what police think happened is that like around 3:15 in the afternoon, someone opens the door to this house. And after they do, this assailant steps in and starts firing at these 4 teenagers. Now, 2 of them are on the couch and shot on the couch, can't even get up. That's Tiffany and Eldebert, right? Marcus, he tries to make a run for it, tries to jump over the couch. He's shot and killed too. Rachel, they find her with a cordless phone nearby, like she tried to call 911. They're all shot and killed. Rachel is also beat in the head and face. So, because of the fact that this was a known drug house, police chalk it up as a drug deal gone wrong, and the case goes cold, and it stays that way for 3 years. But the families, they do not back down. So they keep the story alive, and they set up a reward of $100,000 to try to get information about what happened. And then 3 years later, police get a tip on the Crime Stoppers line. And the tip is that Christine, that chick with alopecia that they helped, is involved in the murders. So police bring Christine in. Now at this point, Christine, she had become a full-blown heroin user, crack user. They find her at a hotel with her husband, Justin. They bring her in and they talk to her husband, and her husband says, she told me all about it. She told me that at the time, that Christine and her then boyfriend, Chris, went to this house and went inside, shot and killed all of the people in there. Christine was involved. In fact, he said Christine not only fired the weapon, but that after they went outside, she went back in to make sure that they were dead. And Rachel was still on the ground and she wasn't dead yet. So, and was begging, saying, why are you doing this to me? Because she thought that was her friend. And she pistol whipped her and beat her to death. Now, when police bring Rachel in, she's like, when police bring Christine in, Christine's like, it wasn't me. I was forced to go there because Chris made me, and Chris did it all, and Chris this and Chris that. But they slowly find that that is not true, and her husband Justin's story is absolutely what happened. So, it's now 2006. Chris, the boyfriend who went there to shoot and kill all these people with her, he gets wind of the fact that police have a tip and they have Christine in custody and they're coming after him. So he dies by suicide. Christine finally admits to police, and I think their 3rd interview, and says, okay, I did do it, but it wasn't just my hand. Chris put his hand on mine, and he's the one that pulled the trigger, and I didn't want to do it, but I was so afraid of him, and so on and so forth. But the jury doesn't buy any of it. She also tries to claim that her confession that she ends up giving was because she was, coming down from withdrawal of heroin, and that's why she ended up confessing. But she is sentenced to, I don't know if it's life in prison, but up for parole, which is wild. So she's 39 now. She avoided the death penalty because she was 17. And I want to say she's up for parole in 2046 or something like that. But yeah, just a crazy story about two girls who tried to do the right thing and ended up dead by the girl that they tried to help.